Hello everyone, my name is BluMoon, and today, or tonight, I am going to be cleaning up one of my spells. Now, I just got done casting a healing spell for a individual last night, so today I'm going to be cleaning it up. So, the key to cleaning up your spells is to um, have a idea of peace and serenity in your mind, and not to take very harsh, aggressive steps into cleaning it. Now, as for for here, I did wax drippings, so I am going to have to do a little bit of scraping, but for that, I'm going to use this ceramic tool here with a flat blade. It makes it a little bit easier. You could also use a putty knife if you have one, or a 5-in-1 tool if you have one as well. Those work as just as well. Or if you have a little piece of scrap wood or anything like that laying around, you can use that as well. So there are different techniques to this. Now, I usually use the hook and pointed edge of a ceramic tool to usually clean out my candles. So what I have here is right here. This is actually hardened, probably from the heat of the wax, and I did use some holy water, so the water might have spilt out and actually dripped down, although I do not actually see any evidence of it falling out except for right here. That little dab right there was actually a little bit of the water falling out. So with this, see, just take little steps, little thing. Oh, and there's actually still some holy water in there. So that was actually pretty easy. Now, I did put a little bit of holy water down in the bottom of this, and the reason for that was to help keep the pure and energy where it needed to be. I think it makes it a lot easier that way. So what I'm doing is I am just making small little on the edges here. Sometimes it's a little bit harder, sometimes it's a little bit easier. It just depends on how the candle wants to react. Now, usually for the harder ones, I have to take the point and slowly just work my way around the edges. And I do this every time I clean up a spell. Now, see how that popped up? And sometimes if it doesn't want to pop up, that's where I use the hook, where I'll go in the side and I'll grab it from the side and kind of pop it up. Alright, so came out pretty nice. So what you might want to do with this, now for what I do with my leftover wax, and that is, some people find it easier to throw away. Some people might want to reuse the wax. What I do is I usually discard it into a particular trash can that I just charged. and blessed to help seal the energy into it. Now, all you really need is a paper towel or a rag. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be a really nice towel. It just has to be a pretty clean towel. Alright. And whenever it's all dry, you can kind of just blow it out a little bit, and that's pretty clean. So I will set this off to the side, and do have a little bit of residue there, but that is perfectly fine. That is all natural. Now, I did have a rune sigil over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just taking the flat tip and just really small, light strokes. I'm going to scrape this up. Now, and what I'm going to do is, since I did have holy water and that in here, I'm not going to put it in my bowl. I don't want that to affect anything in there. So, and this is where this flat point really comes in handy. Now this is a giant pressed, boarded, basically it's a giant clipboard for art. But I do use it for some of my other spells as well, if I feel it is needed. And usually I use this when I feel that dripping the wax from the candle around your spell, and sometimes actually into the wax, is necessary. Now, how do you know this? Is that you will feel it, and you should always follow your intuition. If you feel like a spell needs to be done a certain way, follow that. Always do what your instincts tell you to do. And also, if you find a spell online and you feel like it needs to be changed, by all means, change it up a little bit. Still keep the essence of the spell, but you can change your words, your wording just a little bit, or you can actually just add a couple more lines to it. So definitely edit. Do not be afraid to edit. Try. If it works out, great. Keep it. If it doesn't, then if you want to change it a little bit more, change it a little bit more. Now, cleaning up is a very important part of your spells, and through this entire process I am just keeping the idea of everything working out properly, and just having a sense of peace, a sense of calm around you. And also, what will help your spells is whenever you get into a relaxed state for doing your spells, is putting your will into your spell, your intent for your spell, and your mind as you're casting it. So there is a lot of multitasking to do with Magick. You not only have to say the words, you not only have to do hand gestures and movements, but you also have to keep your intent with you at all times. What you want the spell to do, how the spell is going to react, how it's going to work, who it's for. And you all have to think about that as you're doing your spell. Alright, here we got a just the last one of the wax droppings, I believe. Now I'm just going to take this. All this should be loose, but you never know with how the holy water or the wax might have played with it. Or maybe the elements played with it. That's always a plausible thing as well. And sometimes you will see the elements in your work. But what I like to, if you do see anything out of the ordinary, then what I say is that the spell is doing what it's supposed to do. It is drawing the attention, and the energy is going out the way it needs to go. Alright, so I will, one of my incense cones didn't quite take off there, but that was fine. And the same thing for here. And I'm just making it into a pile, and then I will set the board over the trash can that I have set aside just for my magical work. And I will put it away in there. Now what do you do with it after your trash can is full? It should take you a little bit. I mean, even with me, I do multiple spells daily, and it's taken me quite a bit to fill up my trash can. I have a 13-gallon trash can here, but it all depends on the size of your spells. If you're doing a circle, and you're using a lot of salt, a lot of incense, candles, pardon me, things of that nature, you're going to have a lot more cleanup than what just this little 8x8 area is. Now I'm just going to use this and kind of just use it as, oh, you know what, I have the perfect thing to do that with. Crow feathers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and gently to it to a point, and then I'm going to just put it into the trash can. Don't know if you could hear that, but that was pretty good. Alright, there is a little bit left in here, and it just looks like a little bit of residue from where the wax and the holy water came out with. So, basically just take small slow steps when cleaning, and always have the right state of mind whenever you do it. So if you're mad and you start tossing and disrespecting your tools and your materials that you used, that energy might linger on a bit. So and it could affect you, or it could affect your next spells. So keep that in mind. If you have any comments, I am always open and always willing to respond back. Also, if this has helped you, please like and subscribe for more video content like this, and don't forget to share. Thank you again. I hope this has helped.